History is not only about wars, leaders, and borders. Sometimes, history is the story of things that vanished. During the Soviet era, hundreds of thousands of artworks, paintings, icons, gold collections, and rare manuscripts disappeared. They were not destroyed. They were not burned, but they vanished without a trace. The question is simple. Where did these treasures go? In 1917, the revolution changed everything. The new government declared the wealth of the old empire property of the people. Royal palaces, aristocratic collections, and church treasures were seized by the state. Thousands of artworks were confiscated. Some were transferred to museums. Others disappeared. In the 1920s, the Soviet Union faced a severe economic crisis. The state needed money. A controversial decision was made. The government secretly began selling its art treasures. Pieces from some of the greatest collections in history were sold to the West. Works linked to masters like Rembrandt, Raphael, and Van Dyck left the country through quiet deals. These sales were never openly announced. Documents were hidden, records were altered. But this was only the beginning. During the 1930s, under Stalin's rule, churches were closed. Icons, golden crosses, and ancient manuscripts were melted down, sold, or locked away in secret storage. Officially, they were called remnants of the old world. In reality, many were priceless works of religious art. Then came war. During World War II, thousands of artworks were evacuated. They were transported in sealed crates, hidden trains, and guarded convoys. Some were looted by Nazi forces. Some were lost in chaos. Some were placed in storage facilities that were never reopened. To this day, the fate of certain collections remains unknown. When the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, archives opened. Doors opened. But instead of answers, more questions appeared. Some missing artworks suddenly surfaced in Western auctions. Some were discovered in private collections. Others remain officially listed as missing. Historians suggest three main possibilities. 1. Secret state storage. The Soviet system maintained hundreds of hidden depots. Some treasures may still remain there. 2. Black market transfers during the Cold War. Artworks were secretly traded. Records were erased. 3. Political transition. When regimes change, archives disappear. Sometimes history itself is intentionally removed. The most important truth is this. This story is not only about art, it is about power, fear, and control. Because art is memory. And when memory disappears, history weakens. Even today, some lost Soviet treasures are still being searched for. Some sit anonymously in museum storage. Some may be hidden in places no one expects. And perhaps the greatest mystery is this. Not all treasures are meant to be found. History is sometimes written in documents, and sometimes in what disappears. Have you ever wondered what happened to the vast treasures of the Russian czars? We're not just talking about a few misplaced jewels. We're talking about entire collections of priceless art, legendary artifacts, and rooms literally made of amber and gold, all vanishing into the mists of history. Today, we're diving deep into one of the world's greatest unsolved mysteries. The lost treasures of the Soviet Union before the revolution. The Russian imperial family and the aristocracy had amassed one of the most spectacular collections of wealth the world had ever seen. The Hermitage Museum, the Kremlin Armory, countless palaces were overflowing with masterpieces by artists like Rembrandt, Raphael, and Da Vinci. Not to mention Fabergé eggs and crown jewels that would make your jaw drop. But when the Bolsheviks seized power in 1917, everything changed. The state nationalized all private art collections, bringing these incredible treasures under Soviet control. What happened next is a story of chaos, desperation, and intrigue. In the 1920s and 30s, the new Soviet government was in desperate need of cash to fund its ambitious industrialization plans. Their solution? Sell off the unnecessary imperial heritage. A special agency was created, the Antivariate, to liquidate these assets. And they weren't just selling a few paintings. They were selling masterpieces that had defined Russian culture for centuries. Imagine this. Secret catalogs were circulated among wealthy Western collectors like Andrew Mellon, the American financier, and Kalost Gulbenkian, an Armenian oil magnate. These weren't public auctions, they were clandestine deals. One of the most famous sales involved Andrew Mellon, who later founded the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C. In a series of covert transactions, he acquired 21 masterpieces from the Hermitage, including Raphael's Alba Madonna and Jan van Eyck's. The Annunciation. The Soviets were so desperate for foreign currency that they sold these priceless works for what amounted to pennies on the dollar. Hermitage curators were horrified. They tried to hide the best pieces, but the state police would raid the museum, taking what they wanted. It's estimated that nearly 3,000 paintings from the Hermitage alone were sold off, and that's just one museum. We're talking about works by Titian, Rembrandt, Rubens. This goes on and on. Many of these pieces are now the cornerstones of museums across the world, but countless others just disappeared. They were sold to private collectors, their locations lost to time, their provenance deliberately obscured. But the sales to the West are only part of the story. The biggest and most famous enigma is the fate of the Amber Room. This wasn't just a room with some amber decorations. It was a room made of amber. 6 tons of it, backed with gold leaf and mirrors. A gift from the Prussian king to Peter the Great in 1716. It was considered the 8th wonder of the world. For 2 centuries, it dazzled visitors at the Catherine Palace near St. Petersburg. Then came World War II. When the Nazis invaded, they systematically looted cultural treasures across Europe. The Amber Room was at the top of their list. Soviet curators tried to disassemble it, but the amber had become brittle over time. So they tried to hide it, wallpapering over the precious panels. But the Nazis weren't fooled. They carefully dismantled the entire room in just 36 hours, packed it into 27 crates, and shipped it to Königsberg Castle, in what was then East Prussia. And that's the last time anyone saw it, for sure. In 1944, as the Allies bombed Königsberg, the trail goes cold. Was it destroyed in the fires? Was it loaded onto a ship that was sunk in the Baltic Sea? Or was it hidden away in a secret bunker, still waiting to be discovered? The theories are wild. For decades, treasure hunters have searched for the Amber Room everywhere, from salt mines in Austria to lagoons in Lithuania. One popular theory suggests the crates were loaded onto the German cruiser Wilhelm Guse, which was torpedoed and sunk in the Baltic, taking thousands of lives, and possibly the Amber Room with it. Divers have explored the wreck, but found no definitive proof. Another theory points to secret Nazi bunkers in the Ore Mountains of Germany. Just a few years ago, researchers claimed to have found a hidden cave system using ground-penetrating radar, igniting a new wave of excitement. Yet, every lead has turned into a dead end. Some historians even whisper a darker theory, that the real Amber Room was actually destroyed in a fire at the castle, and the Soviets knew it all along but kept the search alive for political reasons. The mystery is so profound that in 2003, a stunning replica, costing over $11 million and taking decades to complete, was installed in the Catherine Palace. It's a masterpiece in its own right, but the original remains the ultimate lost treasure. And the search continues, not just for the Amber Room, but for thousands of other lost objects. We're talking about the missing imperial Fabuche Exov. The 50 known to have been made for the Tsars, 8 are still unaccounted for. There's also the legendary library of Ivan the Terrible, a supposed collection of priceless ancient Greek and Roman texts, rumored to be hidden in a secret Kremlin vault for centuries. Then there were the countless icons, jewels, and artworks that disappeared during the chaos of the Revolution and the Civil War, or were sold off through the antivariate and vanished into private hands. Today, teams of historians, art detectives, and government agencies are still trying to piece together the puzzle. They scour old Soviet archives, shipping manifests, and auction records. Organizations like the Art Loss Registered track missing artworks, hoping for a breakthrough. Every now and then, a piece resurfaces. A few years ago, a Faber-Gage, thought to be lost, was discovered by a scrap metal dealer in the American Midwest who had bought it at a flea market. He had no idea it was worth over $30 million until he Googled the name etched on it. This single discovery gives hope that other treasures are still out there, hiding in plain sight, waiting in an attic or a basement for someone to realize their true value. The story of the lost Soviet treasures is more than just a tale of missing gold and jewels. It's a story about the fragility of culture, the chaos of war, and the enduring power of art. It reminds us that history is not just something we read in books, it's a living, breathing thing, with mysteries that are still waiting to be solved. What do you think happened to the Amber Room? Could one of the missing Fabergé eggs be sitting in a market near you? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more dives into history's greatest mysteries. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell button to be notified of updates.